When Kings talk, the conversation different, man. You really got to pay attention to pick up on it. I'm your host, Willeen23, man. You know, we do it for the people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do to get ahead in life, I suggest you do that, man. I got a very special guest with me here today, Miss Mary Lou. A lot of y'all people might know her, but some of y'all don't. It don't even matter. But yeah, Mary, introduce yourself to the people, man.
I'm Mary from Brownwood. Some people know me as Lou, Mexican Mary.
Mexican Mary Lou, the ultimate hustler, all
Yeah.
around the table, huh? Yeah. So what you been up to lately?
Yeah. So a lot of y'all know, and some people don't know. I just
Uh-huh.
moved back. I've been
Just
back.
moved back.
Yeah, I've been back probably since like August.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I came back for family reasons. My godparents, everybody,
Oh, okay.
but now that I'm here, I opened up my little shop, but
Oh,
I still work. So I
oh, okay.
work and do the shop thing.
Yeah, two
Mhm.
hustles going at one time then, huh?
Yeah, legit.
Well, yeah, for real.
Legit.
Hey, hustle, illegal hustle, same as the other hustle. You know, that's what it is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how was the city life for you though?
Oh man, so in 2006, I moved.
Hmm.
Just picked up and moved, better for my kids
Right. Get up out
situations.
of here. Yeah.
Yeah, situations that was going on. Man, I ain't gonna lie. When I moved up there, I was blessed,
You was blessed
really
off the
blessed.
muscle, yeah.
I went to a temp service and got a job and ended up holding that job for what, about 11 years.
11 years?
11
I didn't
years.
even know you was gone for 11 years.
Yes,
Wow.
11 years. When I first went up there, so I worked for the Dallas Cowboys
Oh,
at
okay.
the warehouse.
Oh,
And
oh yeah, at the warehouse. Okay, I
yeah,
did see
at the
you doing that.
warehouse. I Some things happened for me to get in trouble to have to move.
Uh-huh.
My oldest son Isaac ended up kind of
Isaac,
getting in
okay.
trouble. I don't know if he was here. You remember that?
Yeah, I
Anyways,
probably was gone, yeah.
man, he ended up getting in trouble, and I went, got a job. I didn't know. I try to tell people all the time, it's best to get out of your little bubble,
It is. It is.
because if you don't ever get out of your bubble, you'll never know nothing different
You'll never know nothing different or where you
at
can go
all.
or the people you can meet and the successes you can have.
Man, at all.
Right.
I would not, like, right now, literally, every time I apply for a job,
Hmm.
they tell me I'm either overqualified
Yeah.
or they just don't have a place for me,
Place
because
the norm. Yeah.
I really try to apply for a job at first that I could do my hair thing
Uh-huh.
and see how it's going to happen.
Right, right. That's your specialty
You're
anyway.
right. But back to going to Dallas. So that was really crazy to me at first, but now I know it
Hmm.
was a real blessing for me and Isaac.
Right.
But I tell people all the time too, like, pay attention to your kids' grades in school.
Right.
And,
All that.
when I went up there, my blessing was I got the job for the Dallas
Right.
Cowboys. And in the long run, I learned that I could actually work for corporate America.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
same mind frame and the things that I was doing in the streets
Exactly. It
was the
applies to the
same
legals.
thing in
Right.
corporate America. Only
Exactly.
difference is you're at peace.
You're at peace. You ain't got to worry about
Man, you're at
nothing,
peace.
looking over your shoulder and all that old
You're at
stuff.
peace.
And that's the same thing. Everything is a hustle. That's what I tell everybody, man. It's just one side of the law and the
Yep.
other. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But I did see you when you went up there and you started working for the Cowboys. I was like, man, that's pretty neat. Like
Yeah.
that's cool right there. So I mean, what all did you do? Like, what was
So
your
I
occupation?
I did logistics. Like, I went in doing warehouse work,
Hmm.
and my mind frame, like, I think out the box a
Yeah.
lot.
Right. Right.
So I seen where they needed help at, and I just jump in and I help them.
Oh, okay.
And eventually they ended up making me a supervisor.
Oh, supervisor.
At the
There
end
you
of the
go.
day, when I left the Dallas Cowboys, I was one of the only people that was on a salary,
Right.
that could run the whole warehouse from receiving
Right.
to shipping.
And I can see that with you because I've been knowing you for a long time and you got a sharp mind. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying?
and I would
So
have never thought that or known that had
right.
I not left Brownwood.
Yeah, exactly. If you
Yeah.
would have stayed
So,
here, you would have never known.
and when I tell y'all this how blessed I was, I would have never had thought in life that I could actually work for a company that Jerry Jones family themselves
Right.
made a position for me that
Oh,
was just for me.
just for you.
When I quit 11 years later, that position was taken away.
Wow.
That salary position
Wow.
was taken
Wow.
away.
And that's a blessing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like this: when you're a chosen one, you know God gonna open doors for you regardless.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter where you really are, wherever you go. I was looking at this thing the other day, and it was saying something about a star seed. A star seed, they can go anywhere. and they'll prevail. You know
Right.
what I mean? Just like you said, they opened the door for you and they made a position specifically for you. That was God's doing too. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And like you said, if you never would have left, you never would have known.
Right.
So
So, and everybody wants to know, and I'm pretty sure y'all want to know, like, why did I leave?
yeah, why did
So,
you? 'Cause that was a thought that I'm like,
yeah,
why did she
that's
do it?
what.
Why
Why
did
did
she
I
leave?
leave? So to be in that position, and for Jerry Jones to be able to see me out in
Mhm.
public and know who I am and what I do
Right.
for him,
Right.
I shouldn't have trouble paying my regular hood rent.
Oh no, not at all.
When you work
Not
for
at
a
all.
multi-million-dollar
Right.
company and millions of dollars come across the
Yes,
floor,
millions of
and you
dollars.
touch and have something to do with everything that goes out there,
Yeah.
you shouldn't struggle to pay whatever you got to pay.
Right.
Especially when you
No
live
worries at
like,
all on that end.
y'all know I don't live like expensive lavishly.
Right.
So
You always
I wasn't
humble.
living beyond my means. So
Mhm.
I did pay a little bit of child support, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
but I wasn't mad about it. I just took it for what it's worth and
Right.
got the experience from it. And the experience that I got is worth way more than what he ever paid me.
Right.
Because like I
Exactly.
said, I go to jobs now and I have that experience.
You have that experience,
Yeah.
and with that on your resume, people look like, oh, maybe she is overqualified.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean? Oh, we don't have a spot for you because we,
yeah.
you're a little out of our league. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So in the end, I mean, it all worked out for the best.
Right.
And as far as Isaac, now that was a real serious situation.
Uh huh.
We went up there. He was in the 8th grade. He first got into school. Brownwood took so long transferring his papers that he had 2 of the best blessings from
Right.
that.
Okay.
He actually got to run in an event because in Brownwood he was always failing.
Always.
So he never got to
Right.
actually,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm.
play
Play
because he
or
didn't pass.
participate. Right.
Right. So that taught him he wanted to really do something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It showed him
That I can accomplish
competition and
something.
go
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the worst thing when he first went was they told me my child was on a 3rd grade reading level
Mm-hmm.
in the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how is that? Because he passed every
Yeah.
year.
If he. Yeah. Exactly.
So, well, you know, back then they didn't do that stars thing and all that.
Right.
So, and we knew that he was failing all year. And every summer we waited in the mail for that letter saying, you know, if he made it.
Right.
So he passed, so you don't think nothing about it. So, anyways, we get down there and they tell me that. So, you know, of course, I go off on them because I'm like, you're calling my son stupid.
Yeah.
And they were like, Mr. Nash, just give us a while. Let us get, you know, his records and see what happened. I did not know that it was a difference between being placed and promoted to the next grade. I didn't know that.
Me either. That's new for
I
me
quit
too.
school. Everybody knows I quit school in the
Uh-huh.
9th grade.
Yeah.
So how am I really gonna know?
How you
You know what I'm saying? After I had Isaac, I quit school.
Mm-hmm.
So how would I know? And that's my first child.
Right.
So yeah, well, his blessing was they put him in art classes.
Mhm.
Y'all know Isaac right now.
Right.
Isaac makes over $100,000 a
Man,
year.
yeah, Isaac
He
is
probably
doing
don't
this
want me to
thing.
tell y'all because
But
know.
yes, and I've seen this grow because like I said, we kind of came up together. We was around each other for a while. And I remember Isaac when he was just a youngster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to see him now to what he done grew into and blossom into, it's just like, wow.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that lets you know, man, it's just you never know until you push your foot forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? And kind of do the things that you know you need to do where you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like you were saying a while ago, you got to get out of your bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of that comfortability. Like, I'm comfortable here. I'm all right. But what about upgrading your life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What about the things that you could do? You just never know.
But when you're stuck here, you're not gonna know.
You're never gonna know.
That's all you know.
Right, exactly.
Just like the decisions I made to do what I did while I was getting in trouble, like that's all I knew.
Yeah.
So with what was going on with my child support and my kids and still providing a home for them when they did come with me, because I did raise my kids.
Right.
No matter what nobody says, we had joint custody.
Right.
Bruce had one more advantage than I had, like, and that was to establish domicile. Other than that, we had the same rights.
Right, same rights.
So,
exactly. I kind of know how that worked too because I'm kind of in them situations as well.
It's so. Anyway, I made them choices, did what I did, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna take it back because I did what I felt like I needed to do.
Right, exactly.
You know?
And people ask me all the time, man, like, would you go back and change anything? Of course, when you think about it, you be like, man, I wish I would have done this different. But the decisions that I made at that point in time, they made me who I am.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm good today because, I mean, the lessons and the stepping stones that I learned from that. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it makes it all worth it.
And not only that, to me, a lot of people had a lot of judgment too about like I didn't hide anything from my kids, you know, and I did whatever I did all out in front of them. But at the end of the day, even my kids right now, kind of hold that against me. But at the end of the day, like I tell them and everybody else, had I not shown them
Right.
what was really going on,
Uh huh.
they later on in life, I feel like wouldn't have been able to really make a right decision
Correct.
as far
Correct.
as how they wanted to live life. Like I
Right.
could have hid the bad that went along with it, and then they would have ended up making a choice maybe to be
Maybe
like,
that.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
the same
Exactly.
thing because they don't
Exactly.
really know everything
They
going
don't know
on.
to go. And I'm friends with all your boys on Facebook, and they all doing pretty well.
Yeah,
All of them doing pretty well, man. And at the end of the day, once you raise your kids and they go off to do their thing, and they're successful, you can pat yourself on the back no matter what people say. Or even the kids sometimes they might have resentment and be like, well, you didn't do this and
right,
but I did my job.
right.
You're alive and you're well and you're
And you, since
successful.
you mentioned that, like that's me and my kids' biggest beef. Like
Uh-huh.
really, that's
Yeah.
our biggest beef. That's
Right.
why they don't deal with me a lot,
Hmm.
and because I
They
don't
like,
know,
oh, you
I
wasn't
can't
there, you
pinpoint it
wasn't there. Yeah.
exactly. But at the end of the day, I finally had to do what you said. Like
Yeah.
I finally believe, like I made the best choices that I could for my
Right.
kids.
Exactly.
So
I
they
was
can either take that and hate me for it or love me for it. But at the end of the day, I finally realized like if whatever I did or the choices that they made,
Mhm.
if the choices that they made in life to make them do better,
Right.
if that was the cost, if
Yeah.
them not having nothing
Exactly.
to do with me is the cost that I have to pay for them to end up
That's
having a
fine.
better life, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're fine with that.
I'm fine with that. They don't never
Exactly.
have to deal with me again.
Mhm.
But just knowing that they are where they are in life, I'm good with that.
Yeah, you're good with it. And at the end of the day, man, like people will look in and really don't know what's going on. And I was saying this the other day, like children don't understand that us as parents, we're regular people as well. We
Hmm.
got decisions to make. We're not perfect. I mean, we're gonna make some bad decisions at the end of the day.
Right,
I'm dealing with stuff and I'm still trying to raise you at the same time.
right,
You know what I mean? You don't know my past trauma. You don't know my past history and what I went through. You see what I'm
right.
saying? So long as I'm protecting you, feeding you and clothing you and you got shelter,
Yeah,
man, I'm making it. You
right.
know what I mean?
I feel it.
And at the end of the day, people can feel how they want to feel about that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But I mean, that it
Well,
is
one
what
thing
it
I would
is.
say about so my mom didn't raise me,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't hate her, but I know now like I should have made different choices as far as with her, with her and my relationship with her later on
Right,
because,
right.
and I recently tried to have a relationship with her because now I feel like I feel like it's true what God says, like how you treat your mother
Hmm.
is gonna come back on you,
It's gonna come back.
and no matter how wrong I think my mom is for not raising me at all,
Right.
you know, compared to how I raised my kids, even when they did,
Hmm.
you would get separated.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dealing with that now with my kids.
Right.
So at the end of the day, my kids have kids.
Right. They do. Yeah.
They're gonna end up dealing with it with their kids.
Yeah.
So now when we do, have our issues or whatever in my mind, I'm just like, hey,
But
your
see,
kids are gonna get grown.
yeah, they are. And what you just said, it ties back into what I just said. Like
Yeah,
you said your mother didn't raise you. And that's the thing about it. Like she was going through and had issues of her own and
right,
whatever made her make the decision to say, I can't raise this child or whatever happened, she was dealing with stuff.
right,
And everybody don't know how to handle these situations. You know what I mean? So who's to say that, that she didn't want to raise you? You
right,
know what I mean? And I think it's like unhuman for someone to have a child and people say, oh, he don't love that child or she don't love that child just because they're not involved or they don't raise them. People they're trying to figure out life themselves.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And that's just part of life, man. People put too much on certain things. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, all your boys are doing well. And
Yeah,
everyone that knows them, they know that too.
right.
You know what I mean? They can always look, oh, those are Mary's boys.
I'm
That's the first
I'm
thing they
I'm
think
very
when they
proud
see
of
them.
them. Like everybody, it's no secret that me and Isaac have a beef.
You know,
It's no secret at all. But at the end of the day, I'm still proud of him. He has faults. I have faults. We all have faults. But
right?
like I said, he's a parent now.
Yeah,
And
he
when
is.
his kids get older, he'll understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Have you and Isaac had this conversation? Have y'all tried to because he's an adult now.
right.
Have y'all tried to have that adult to adult conversation about this situation?
We have, but I think that nothing. I've tried everything. I don't know if he's tried everything, but at the end of the day, I was 14, going on 15 when I
Yeah.
had Isaac.
Hmm.
we raised each other.
Exactly.
We really raised each other.
That's
And
what I'm
we are
saying.
so much alike.
Mhm.
Like how I feel is how I feel.
Right.
Like that's just it.
Mhm.
And that's how Isaac is too.
And I'm glad that you said that because like you were a child trying to raise a child,
Right.
basically.
Right.
You didn't know the ins and out of parenthood. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And then like let alone was you a single mother?
Yeah.
Or was
Well,
okay, pretty
you know,
much, but he was there, but
pretty much,
I
yeah.
mean you had him, I mean, so pretty much. So I mean, so like I got a 15-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? So the thought of her having a baby right now and trying to raise it is like mind-boggling to me. And there's so many women, little girls that get in that situation like you were. So you had a baby, of course you got to raise it.
Right.
This is my child. I love it. I don't know everything about this parenthood stuff, but this is what I got.
Right.
And I just think.
So at the end of the day, Isaac was really, like I tell people all the time, Isaac really saved my life because people that know me know
Right.
I was in the streets like at a young age.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I really, people now right now have been knowing me 30, 40 years and they're like, who is your mom?
Yeah.
They could tell you who my dad is or,
Right.
you know, where I grew up in my grandma's house during the summers until I actually moved here when I was about 11.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the day, by the time I was 13, I was already a full-blown alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like when I say it took a village to raise me, like the flats, the hood,
really
everybody
did.
really raised me, kept me out of trouble. It could have been way worse for me. I mean, things still happen. When me and Eric had Isaac on purpose, rest in peace, Eric.
Right.
When me and Eric had Isaac on purpose, that saved my life because I couldn't drink no more.
No.
He was controlling, but now I know it was for my best interest.
For your best interest, yeah. Exactly.
So that changed my life. Like I stopped drinking. I wasn't on drugs back then. I just was a full-blown alcoholic. And it saved my life. So now I don't judge anybody for having kids at a young age.
Right.
Because you never know, you know what I'm saying, what
right.
situation they're going to. It might raise them, right? You know,
might make them be a better person.
Bring them out
whatever.
of situations they're already in. So, and I didn't have, you know, I had my god sister. I always had my god sister, but I didn't like to leave him with nobody. Right. So I didn't have nobody to really help me, and that's how I ended up with Bruce at such an early age. He did come along and he helped me, and he raised Isaac. And then we had kids. I got married when I turned 18. It just, that was my point when I learned, like.
Right. I knew you was with Bruce. I just didn't know what time you was with Bruce. But like, how did that situation go? Were y'all together?
Yeah, we were. Like I was, man. Nobody cared about my age back then.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Actually, when I even lived with him before,
early 90s,
yeah. When I lived with him before I even was 18, before I got pregnant, I was staying with him in his daddy's apartment, or no, the house behind the apartment in Banks, and Vivian, y'all know Vivian and John. Vivian was like, that girl got to get out of there. They're not married, and she's young. And so we traded, and we went to the front of the apartment. They went into their house, but I mean, from there we just we go through things. We were both young,
both young,
and thought it was okay to have kids. I guess because we were married,
right?
You know, so that's how we ended up. But people ask me all the time, how did you end up with Bruce? Y'all are totally different people.
I was wondering the same thing.
Everybody asks that all the time.
Because Bruce is my boy. I like Bruce. It's a good individual, man. I mean, y'all may have y'all differences or whatever, but he's a good dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like, what happened with the situation? Y'all just went y'all separate ways.
We're just two totally different people. We're two totally different people.
And that happens, and that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, man. So I want to talk about this Facebook post that you wrote the other day, and I have it here. You said, this is what Mary said, y'all. She said, men wouldn't have to cheat on us if we didn't put them in a position to have to make a commitment they are not ready for. We can't force people to feel how we feel. So break that down for me. Like, what did you mean by that?
So I think that a lot of times, like we get with men and, or, you know, we start dealing with men and we kind of in our own way give them ultimatums.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? True. This is how we want you. This how we want our situation to be.
Right. This how I want it to be. Like, yeah.
And men, for whatever reason, they go along with it, but that's not really the choice they want to make.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I feel like they do end up making commitments because we kind of
force them.
Right.
Yeah.
To do that because either they know we're gonna not
Want to be with them
be with
or
them
mess
or
with them
whatever
or
we got
whatever.
going on.
Yeah.
So then they go ahead and just like a lot of people are like, I'm mean. Maybe I am mean. You know what I'm saying? But
I wouldn't say you're mean.
I mean, I guess God say I mean because I really don't just try to force a
right, force
relationship.
things. Yeah.
I mean, of course, I'll
exactly.
let them know what I want, or
Uh-huh.
you know, be mad at some point because
Right.
certain situations happen or whatever. But as far as just like, I'm not gonna go chase nobody down.
Oh
I'm not
no,
gonna.
no, that's not even your character.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Hey, come move with me and put your name on the like. I'm not doing none of that
None
to
of
try to
that.
keep you like. You know what I'm saying? That's
Exactly.
really how I feel like if we don't give men the push to do what we want them to do,
Right.
they won't end up doing what they want to do in the long run.
In the long run.
Later on.
Exactly. And the thing with me is, I always said this with relationships: when you try to change someone or make them be this certain way, that's not them. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So now you're asking them to do something that they really don't want to do, and
Right.
and their character is not in them to do.
Yeah.
So then you really throw the relationship off with that, because now they're gonna start to act like this. So they might be with you and act a certain way, and then when they're not with you, they're gonna act this way. You know what I mean? So I never tried to like control anyone that I was with. I want you to be your true, honest self around me, because I want to know you for you and love you for you.
Right.
Now I can't be loving something fake and then, oh, she was over there doing this or he was over there doing that. Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think people put too much pressure on a significant other and want them to be just how they want them to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I mean, you just try to, I say this: love yourself, and guaranteed you'll attract that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it just is what it is.
I mean, I pretty much feel like that with any situation. Like
Right.
if you force anybody to do anything, they might be all right with it for a minute.
For a minute.
But as soon as you make them mad or they get real uncomfortable, like everybody's gonna break.
Yeah, they're gonna break.
And they're gonna go right back to what they really wanted to do.
Exactly.
So it's like you set yourself up for
failure.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So and that's why when guys do come at me and I'm like, they try to tell me everything they're gonna do, and I'm like, you're not even gonna set me up for failure. Like,
yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
ain't trying to
saying?
hear all that.
Yeah. And the first thing they'll be like, I'm not gonna kiss your, the ass. Like I'm not doing that. I'm like, you don't have to.
Right.
Because I just can't. I've lived like that before. Like Eric, I used to run around and chase him and figure out where he was at.
Right.
I went into labor chasing the car down the road trying to shoot it with the BB gun because the girl picked him up in front of the apartment. Like, yeah, man, it's just too much. Like, nobody wants to live unpeaceful like that, anyways.
No, and especially when you're getting older, it's like, man, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, golly, we're not children anymore. Like, we're grown, we're adult. You should know how to be. At the end of the day, you should know how to be.
Like, if I had to tell you how to act, like, I'll do my kids like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just want to boss grown people around,
right?
I feel like the only people I could do that to is my kids, and I can't even do that.
You can't even do that.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what. And I didn't post it trying to make up excuses for men or say that it's right that they cheat. It's just a general. A lady had asked me why do men cheat, and that's what I told her. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I tell people all the time. I didn't understand men fully until my kids got to be men.
Yeah,
because you know sometimes, well, sometimes you get in a situation you'll be like, "Who raised you?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then I see them; they all go through their own thing, and I'm like, I know who raised y'all, and I raised them. I would like to say that I raised them not to make some of the choices they made with women, but they're men.
They're men.
What exactly? I mean, I can't.
And everybody got to write their own course in life. Like, man, you can raise someone to be just perfect. And I say this all the time, like, man, look at some of the preachers' kids. You know what I mean? Sometimes they be some of the worst ones. Right. And you would think they would not be. But that goes to say, it don't matter what you try to make a person to be or groom a person to be. They're going to be who they are at the end of the day. No matter, what you do. Yeah. And the more you try to restrict them from doing things, that makes them want to do it even more. Right. You know what I mean? That's why I tell my wife, you want to go out and have fun with your girls, go have fun. Yep. You know what I mean? Me, I'm just kind of over the turning up state. Because I mean, we grew up fast. Like
Yeah.
man, we grew up so fast. So it's not now. I mean, I'll be 39 this year, so it's like I don't even care about turning up no more. I really don't care. I can be alone with my wife. We can go somewhere. We can go to a spa. We can go to the beach and just chill. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? I don't even care about all that stuff no more.
Yeah, I feel I don't really. I used to love the one. Neil told me when when he came home and I came home, and after I came home from being I went on probation. Like that was the first time I hadn't been on probation like most of my life.
Yeah.
I didn't have my kids were grown.
Uh-huh.
I had a job. I was living a legit life.
Right.
I did have a boyfriend when I first came home. He ended up going to the feds later on, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was wondering what happened with that. Okay.
Look, let me tell you something about that. So I came home. I don't know how jail affected you, but them 15 months, like I had a whole lot of time to think.
Exactly.
And when I sat down and I thought about it, I'm like, it's crazy because while I was locked up, the one person that was there for me the most was somebody I barely even knew.
Barely, and that's how it be most of the time. I'm telling you.
And then when I came home, because of how everything happened when I got locked up, when I came home, I still had my job.
Yeah.
The Cowboys held my job for me.
Oh, really?
And everything.
So that's what's up.
Yeah, they held my job for me and everything. So when I came home with the promotion, So when I came home, I really didn't have nowhere to live. My sister, we got the same mom and dad, was staying there, and she said I could stay with her. But she had a boyfriend, and you gotta have visitor parking pass.
All that old stuff, yeah.
She wouldn't let me use the visitor parking pass, so I literally would sleep outside in my truck because I didn't want it to get towed.
Yeah, exactly.
So the dude that I had been knowing off and on the years before, I started talking to him, and he stayed in budget suites, and he was like, "Luke, just come stay here. You got your job.
Right.
I've been seeing you all these years doing what you do. Like you're not doing that now. You finally got them people off your back. Like come stay here. You don't have to pay nothing. Get your place in the next couple of months. Just keep your money." And I did that.
Yeah, you did that. Right.
So
that's the dude that had the cars, right?
Yeah, but we both did. I mean, that turned out a good thing for him too because he had been locked up in and out all his life. Like he got a list of charges. But when we got together and I really showed him a different life in hustling,
right?
Like to really get something out of it.
Yeah.
That was his first time in life that he was out for 2 years straight.
Really?
See? And he was 42? Wow. And been locked up since he was 17, like 5 different times.
It's in them streets, yeah.
But because back to you don't know nothing different.
You don't know nothing different.
Right.
So this is what we do. My environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The environment that we in.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I'm not ashamed of my past, man. Like I tell anybody, they got any question about my past, I blatantly tell you. Even some of the worst things I done. Because at the end of the day, man, I was learning, I was growing, so I was making mistakes. And then you got some of these people, man, they always want to pick when they got skeletons themselves. You know what I mean? No one walking the face of the earth is perfect.
Look, let me tell you a story. So it's no secret that Bruce had got temporary custody of the kids. All of a sudden, I had to give my kids up by 6 p.m. one day. Well, nobody really knew what happened some people knew what happened that day, but when my kids got older, like that was something I felt like he needed to tell them. Right. And when they would ask me when they got older, what happened that day, why you had to give us up? Because I did always get them on my visits. So, of course, they grew up through all of that and eventually wanted to know.
Right. They want to know. Yeah, they got questions.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody really knew what happened in court that day. So to really speak on what happened, how my kids got taken or all the extra, nobody can really speak on except the people that was in the court that day.
That was there, yeah.
And I will say this, the girl that, I wouldn't even call her a lady, the girl that testified against me that day and told all them lies that made Bruce able to make me get my kids up by 6 p.m.
Right.
She had put somebody else in jail for 20-some years.
That's crazy,
When she came out that witness room and she testified and said all the things that she said, started making me wonder, like, what really happened when her and old dude went to court?
Yeah, what happened?
Right. Yeah. So that made me realize then, like, you can't judge other people's issues,
No, you
anything.
can't.
This
You
I tell
can't. You
people all the
can't.
time, like nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors
Right.
except the people behind the closed doors
Exactly.
in any situation. That's why I try not to judge my friends' relationships or feelings or whatever. I mean, I might speak on it and tell
Right.
them,
Exactly. And
but
tell
as
them.
far as judging them, like I'm not gonna do that.
No, not at all.
Because for one, we don't know what happened behind closed doors.
Right.
We
Two
don't
sides
know
to every
how
story.
y'all make each other feel behind closed doors.
Right. Two sides to
So
every story, man.
yeah, I try not to speak on too much as far as people and
Right.
their relationships or what they go through unless I've seen it with
Unless
my
you've
own
seen it
eyes.
yourself and you've been there. Exactly.
And then I'm going to talk to that person about it. I'm not going to announce it all
Right.
over to the world because we all go through what we
Right.
go through.
It's this thing that I seen the other day, and it said, y'all better stop believing people just because you know them or you're close to them, because they
Right.
be lying too.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they just want you to be on their side, so they filling your head up with all this blah 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 blah, and the whole time they might be the problem.
hmm
You know what I mean? And I was saying this too, like I see this with women mostly. Sorry, ladies, but I see this a lot of times too. Like it could be like a single woman and she friends or her homegirl, she in a relationship, and the other girl can't keep a man. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
She can't keep a man, and she steady putting all this stuff off in her homegirl ear to ruin her relationship, because knowing deep down inside, I know she's jealous of it. She ain't got it. She can't keep it. So she steady going home. This man, oh girl, don't be cooking for him. No, why you listen to that man? That's what you're supposed to do in a relationship.
Right.
I'm gonna listen to you. You're gonna listen to me. We're gonna try to drive each other to success. But then you get these other women that's always in their homegirl ear. Oh, I don't know why you do that. And I'm speaking on this because I've seen it recently.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, and I was just dwelling on that. And that be part of the reason other people get in other people's relationships and don't even know the half.
Right.
They don't know what be going on.
Exactly.
And it's a reason why you can't keep a significant other. Maybe you're the problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just a topic that I
In
want to
all
discuss.
fairness, men do the same thing.
They do.
They do the same thing.
They do the same thing. They do the same thing.
Because I was just recently in a situation, and I did something that I had done previously in another relationship,
Right.
and later on I talked to him, and he was like, "I don't know, I should have expected it anyways because that's what you do."
Wow.
And I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
you and the person that I did that to before was sitting up talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, you know they're gonna talk.
But I'm at the end of the day, like, what did it matter to him?
Right.
What me and you go through, because what me and you go through is what me and you go through.
Yeah, that's between y'all.
So why would you listen to him anyways and try to judge whatever we went through, y'all went through? And you already knew it was two totally different situations on top of that.
Right, two totally different situations. And that's just how it goes. And like when I speak on these things, it goes both ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? It goes both ways. And I'm a big fan of men doing what men are supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? A couple episodes back, I was speaking on certain situations and stuff like that. And I said that it don't matter who the person is to me. Like if you ain't adding up, you ain't adding up.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just handle your responsibilities. You know what I mean? And that's not saying that if you're close to me, that's not saying that I don't love you or I'm not cool with you. But like, bro, this is how we gonna move now.
Right.
This is the right way to go. We didn't live bad our whole life. You know what I mean? The people that know my story, or even your story. And they so quick to still put judgment on us for the way we used to live.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't we supposed to grow?
Right.
Ain't we supposed to evolve?
We're supposed to.
So it's just like when you see someone trying to make a change, like, why are you gonna hate on that? Why are you gonna try to knock them down and put them back below? That says a lot about you. Maybe you're still in a situation or a place that you're uncomfortable with or you're miserable with, so you can't stand to see someone else trying to prevail in life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But that's another topic and a situation. You know
I think that just goes back to that's pretty much all you know in life.
That's it.
You've never really just been out of your bubble to actually really see life or experience life in a different way. Because then if you did, then you would have the mind frame that I don't care what he or she got going on in life.
I don't care.
because I'm doing my own thing.
Right.
I'm better
Winners-
at myself.
Winners focus on winners,
Yeah.
and losers focus on the winners. And like I like to travel a lot, so I've been a lot of places, man. And when I go to these places, I take it all in because of where I'm from. So like, I see these people out there that they're enjoying life. They're, to the New Yorks, to the Miamis, to Cali, just all over. You know what I mean? And I see the way they live life, and then I come back here, I'm just like, why my people can't be on this type of living? You know what I mean? Why we always got to go against it? The town already small, so why we always got to go against each other? You see what I'm saying? Like even all the stuff that happened on Event Page a couple weeks ago. Like why?
Yeah.
That was my question. My main question was why. I didn't understand it.
Because we just want to live in the past.
I mean, I'm tired of the past.
Pretty
Like
much.
I
We
don't
just
care
wanna
nothing
live in the
about the past. And like if it's negative, I really don't care about the past. You know what I'm saying? Or the people that was in it with me doing what we was doing, because like none of that matters. It don't amount to nothing.
I feel like if we can't grow from our past, then why even bring it up?
Why even bring it up? Why even bring it up?
None of our past is secrets.
None of it.
We're really not speaking on nothing everybody don't already know.
Already know.
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
we're just running in circles,
Running in circles.
talking about it.
And like my thing is like they always worried about like who such and such with and that what they got going on. That's their business.
Mm-hmm.
Let them have their business, man.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just part of being in a small town, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, to change the subject, what age did you start doing hair?
Man,
How long you been doing this hair? I mean, you been as long as I know you, you've been doing some hair. You know what I'm saying?
I really, everybody asked me that, and honestly, when you're in high school and y'all friends, y'all doing each other's hair,
Right,
like the
right,
guys
right.
probably cutting each other's
Exactly.
hair. That's when I learned that I knew how to do hair.
You know, yeah.
Like just doing my friend's hair.
Mhm.
So I pretty much you did used to have a license to braid.
Okay.
So that's why I never tried to do it professionally, because
right,
I don't.
right.
I mean, I could cut hair. I don't know if you remember. I used to cut.
Yeah, I
the
remember.
guys hair.
I
Yeah,
remember.
so do all cut. Yeah, I used to cut hair. I used to do my own hair. Remember back when
Yeah,
I had it
I
short?
remember all
I used
of
to
it.
do my own hair. Like I could do it, but that's not my thing. So why,
Right, why
I
you
didn't want to
did it
take the time to go to school
and learn all
plus
that
I was
stuff.
doing everything else in the streets. Like
Right.
I didn't really
You didn't
too
have
much
really
care.
time.
Yeah, I was raising kids. I was
Yeah.
married. Like work. I always worked. Even
Yeah.
before I did the stuff I wasn't supposed to do, I
Mhm.
always worked.
Right.
So I just really didn't think nothing about it.
Mhm.
But I got the experience because I used to do like my friends' kids' hair when we got
Yeah.
older. When the guys, Howard Payne, they used to not have nobody to do their hair.
Right, right.
Back when I was doing my thing, smoking, wanted to get a sack here and there,
Yeah.
I would do that.
Okay,
So that
let me hook you up real quick.
so that was my money outside of
Mhm.
what I had to do to take care of my kids. That was my
Right.
extra money.
Yeah.
So I got experience doing it, doing
Side
that,
hustle.
and
Right.
it was just pretty much that. So when I got locked up, I found out after I came home, you didn't have to have a license.
Right.
So I started, doing it just as a
Mhm.
pretty much, I wouldn't really say a side hustle. Pretty
Right.
much kind of, I started doing it for people I know and just
Mhm.
charging them just a little bit of money because first of all, they couldn't leave Brownwood,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
I felt like it was expensive, it is expensive to get your hair
It
done.
is real
People
expensive.
could tell you all the time, I don't really charge what I could charge.
Right.
And I know that, but I do that because for one, I can't see myself standing up for 6 to 8 hours
Man.
making what somebody has to work for 5 days just to
Yeah.
pay me.
Just to pay you. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. So you basically showing them love on the end
Right.
anyway.
So I just slowly living in Dallas. People that knew me up there was like, "Hey, you can do hair, like really
Yeah.
make money." So I started
Mhm.
kind of doing it then,
Right.
just on the side a little bit. But let me tell you about that. I had to
Uh-huh.
move back home in 2018
Uh-huh.
because my biggest problem up there was people didn't know me, so they were already like, "She
Right.
can't do
That
hair."
is. Yeah.
I was literally showing up at people's houses to do hair,
Mhm.
and they were like, make up reasons why.
Right.
Because they didn't see me.
They ain't seen
and
you
then as soon as
before.
I showed up and I was Mexican, it was always an
no,
excuse why I
yeah,
got to reschedule,
yeah.
and then I wouldn't hear from them. So I came back to kind of build my portfolio up.
Right.
So that way I would have pictures, all
Right.
kinds of things. And then that's when I went back
Yeah,
up there.
and that's another thing, like being Mexican and doing nothing but black people's hair. They kind of like you said, you show up like, oh no, who is this? Like,
Right.
I ain't about to let her touch my hair.
Yeah. So I mean, I got a few people from family or friends that did know me from here that knew
Uh-huh.
people up there.
Right, right.
But as far as it was a lot at
How
first.
how did you run into Big Tuck, the rapper from Dallas? How did
You
I
know what
mean?
the crazy part was? That was really crazy. Like
Uh,
I already knew him from the streets.
oh, okay,
And when
okay.
I came home from being locked up, so my boyfriend that I had at the time when I got locked
Uh-huh.
up, he was doing things in the streets.
Right.
Well, while I was in state jail, I had wrote him and told him I didn't want to go back to him. You know,
Oh,
and
you told me, yeah, is
I don't want
it?
to go
You don't
back.
want, yeah, okay.
So when I got out, I called him and I was like, man, let me get Big Tuck's number because he
Mhm.
knew him too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, let me get Big Tuck's number. So I called him and tell him, I braid hair. I'm finna start braiding hair. And that fool
Uh-huh.
was like, no, you're not getting back with me.
Oh, he was like, he was
I'm not
hating. He was
doing
like,
it.
hey.
And he didn't. And he
He
didn't.
didn't give it to you.
Yeah, so I had to go on all his social media and
And try to
y'all
track it
know when
down.
people have their social media accounts, like they don't always be the one that watches them.
No, of
So
course.
it didn't happen right away.
Right.
I sent the messages to his social media platforms and
Uh-huh.
it took a couple of weeks, but he called me.
Yeah,
He
eventually
finally called me.
he
Yeah,
hit
he
back.
finally called me and
Shout
he
out
was
to
like,
Big Tuck, man.
yeah, he was like, hey Lou, where you been? This and that. I was like, well, this happened. He was like, well, that's good. You hope so. I was like, yeah, I braid hair. And he was like, what? I
He
said,
ain't even
yeah.
know. He didn't know?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, so I'm trying to do my thing braiding hair. So I
Mhm.
just want to see if I could hook you up with some
Right,
hairstyles and we do
right.
like some barter and stuff. Like you kind of put me out there. And he was
Yeah.
like, man, I got you.
Yeah.
First time he called me to
That's
come do
love.
his hair, man, he kind of put me out there and he still paid me.
That's what's up.
And he still paid me.
Real one in the game. Yeah.
We got like our relationship is like really good that
Yeah.
I don't even post a lot of the people's hair that I do actually
Uh-huh.
do that, are in the industry
Uh-huh.
because if I'm there, like he knows and he calls me, I go to his house. Everywhere
Right.
he's moved
You know,
to,
yeah.
I go to his
You
house.
pull up, right.
And because he knows like I don't put his business out there.
No, of course.
I don't bring nobody with me. I
Right.
don't the couple of pictures that I've posted,
Uh-huh.
we've been like he put me
I
out
only
there.
seen like two.
Well, because we were actually kicking it before,
Right,
so I've
right.
taken pictures with him,
Right.
at the club or whatever,
Uh-huh. Yeah, of course, at the club, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where he would always invite me, come with me to VIP so I could help
Right.
you get out there and this and that. Well, there's a picture, I don't know if a picture you seen, it was crazy. There was a picture, if you seen it, his hair was all wild.
Yeah,
And I'm standing behind him. Let me tell you
Yeah.
how that picture happened.
Well, yeah, I was wondering what was going on with
so
that.
any hours of the day, if he called, because with him, people in the industry, they not
Right.
scheduled with time.
No.
So when he called, I got to be able to go. If I
Mhm.
can't, he's cool with that.
Yeah.
It's like 1 a.m. He's
Yeah.
on the phone with the Apollo people,
Uh-huh.
and the dude is like, you're just trying to rush me off the phone because he's like, I'm trying to get my hair
Yeah,
braided. Let me talk to you about this later. And the dude was like, man, it's 1 a.m. Who's getting their hair braided at 1 a.m?
Me?
So he took the picture.
Braids by Lou.
Yeah, so he took the picture and sent it to me, and the dude was like, "Now I know y'all really lying because that's a Mexican girl."
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was like, it's crazy because you never would have thought. I done did 2, besides raising my kids.
Uh-huh.
I done did 2. That was 2. Well, I can actually say 3. 3 major accomplishments in life to me is, the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Getting that occupation. True.
How many times can you say somebody actually took a picture of my work and sent it to the man at the Apollos?
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
How many people can say their work was in the stadium, walking down the aisle,
right,
with
for
that boxer?
everyone to see.
Who was that? Who was that? That he walked down the Big Tuck.
Oh, that was
the boxer. Remember?
He from Dallas, ain't it? Ain't the boxer from Dallas?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember his name. We're gonna find that information.
When you walk him out the thing.
He was rapping.
Song.
Yeah, he was rapping.
Yeah, so like
I was locked up when that happened.
My daughter-in-law, or I call her my daughter-in-law, I was baby mama. She posted on my page. She was like, "You're on pay-per-view," and she put paper, PAP.
Yeah.
She pay-per-view, and I'm like, "What is she talking about?" So anyways, I was calling her. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "I meant to put pay-per-view," and she was like, "Go and look." And so he was on. They put him on there. Like, people pay millions of dollars or a lot of money to see that fight.
A lot of money
to see that fight.
From that fight.
Them people see my work up close.
Right, exactly.
Up close.
Who did your hair? Like, where did he get his hair done?
So
Mexican Mary, y'all.
Man, at the end of the day, I'm like, you could down me. Anybody could down me for anything.
Right.
Stuff like that. That's what makes me
Right.
okay with whoever down on me for whatever reason.
Right. Exactly.
I've done things in life that I never would have thought I would have done.
Mhm.
Like
Exactly.
in
We all
life.
have. We all have.
Yeah.
Even the
So
people that's judging you, they have.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like you get out of your little circle, and then you could do things in life that you know
Right.
what I'm saying
Exactly.
will get you off of all the negative stuff.
All the negative stuff, man. Because then when you move around and you see other people and you vibing with different people and meeting different people, you know, you kind of like forget about that negativity. Like, man, we living life right now. This is what, man, we having fun. You know, we indulging, and then but like when you come back, I always say this every time I come back home. Like I went and had a great weekend. A great weekend, man. We was in Houston, Dallas, and like I'm seeing my people that were from here that they moved away and they're successful. They're having a good time. Everybody's chilling.
Right.
And then when I come back, boom, all that stuff on the event page happened. I'm just like, man, and you know, I'm getting so many calls and messages. They like, well, it's time for you to get up out of there, man. You did not grew that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got all the messages.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like you did not grew that. They still on that. You trying to do something and be successful, and like they still on that. It's time to go. But like for you move back. You know what I'm saying? So are you gonna stay or are you gonna end up leaving again?
I think I'm probably gonna end up staying
Staying?
because
Are you
I
gonna
done
be
got
good?
everybody back on track and some more people as far as the clientele on the braiding thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So you good now.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know,
we're
man.
right.
I give myself about another 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna be up out of here. I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, that's back to what I was saying about Neil told me that I get out and I get with old dude. He gets locked up, so you know I don't have no kids. I'm not on probation. I don't got no boyfriend. I got a good
Just doing your
job.
thing, yeah.
I'm good. So I hit the clubs hard. Big Tux invited me to all the VIPs.
So it's
This
going
the
down. You
first
got
time.
access.
This the first time in life that I realized what it's like to really go out.
Right.
Because remember when we were all doing our thing,
yeah.
when y'all all went out, I stayed here.
Yeah, you stay. Yeah, you was home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, I stayed here. So and like Neil said, he felt like I was living my life backwards. Because now I'm running the street, like I'm going out, and now I'm trying to do the hair thing. So Big Tuck was already like, you got to go to events, you got to do networking. For me being the alcoholic that I've always been, always going to be, no matter what. Even if I don't drink, I'm still going to always be an alcoholic. You know, that never goes away.
It never goes away. She did good tonight, y'all. I offered a drink, she didn't want one.
No,
so
yeah.
Big plus to her.
But yeah. Anyways, I'm going out, man. I started going to strip clubs. I used to not want to go because I was like, who wants to be in a room full of women?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you get locked up and then you realize it's normal, it's okay.
It's just a normal thing. And then sometimes it's just the atmosphere. It ain't even that you're going to even look at the women. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it ends up being. And then because of my past and the people that I dealt with, they put me on, you know, as far as doing hair. And then because of all the people that I did deal with in the past, like, you know, everybody got big money. So they're like, hey, come to the strip club. Like, I'm going to the doors calling and be like, hey, I'm here. And they're coming to get me.
Right.
So I'm not paying the $40 to get in. I'm not paying for drinks. So I'm wilding out.
Yeah. You got free
access. You know what I'm saying? But it got old.
Yeah, it does.
Like once I did it, it was like I had to get it out of my system and I didn't realize it. So even like now that I came back, I think had I not went through that and I ended up coming back, I probably still would have been trying to run the streets.
Right. No lie, because like back in the day, I was like, Lou don't do nothing. Like, what she just a hustler? That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
because regardless to the fact of how people feel about my situation with my kids, I still had them.
Right.
When there was pretty much no school, I still had them.
You still had them, yeah.
And I can honestly say, no lies. Whoever wants to look at it and tell it and send it to whoever, I actually pay child support for kids while they live with me.
Wow, now that's crazy.
While they live with me.
That is crazy. I did that for like 6 months. I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Yeah, I had to work.
How does that happen like that? I mean, that's just that's crazy.
Man, the Attorney General is straight up.
Yeah.
And when you go to court, it's even crazier. Like, I will say, when I did go to court for my final divorce, I really had to fight for my kids. I even the lawyer that he had, I couldn't even get a lawyer to take my case.
Really?
I couldn't get the lawyer to take my case.
Well, he had that good of a lawyer or something?
Yes.
Wow.
But guess what? Guess who still walked out of there with joint custody?
You.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And and I utilized all my rights for
Mhm,
visitation and
mhm.
everything.
But
So so the child support thing, what a lot of people don't understand is, for one, if the parent collecting the child support is not on any benefits or anything, they can stop that at any time.
yeah, anytime.
So
Yeah, I
just
know
know
that.
if your other parent
Mhm.
is, if neither one of y'all is on any kind of benefits and
Right,
you're still being
right,
forced for child
right.
support, that's the other parent pushing it. It's
Yeah, they
not child
pushing it.
support.
Right, right. And then they can stop it
But
too.
right, they can push it, they can stop it.
Right.
And I will say that I paid my child support. I was all up to date till I got locked
Mhm.
up in 2013. And when I came home, I was $10,000 behind.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I will give a shout out to Bruce for. He did
Mhm.
wipe that clear.
Yeah, man.
He
And
wiped that clear.
man, it what's crazy is I was trying to get that to happen in one of my situations, and she wasn't going for it. She wasn't budging. And for me, it's just like, why?
Right.
Like, long as I'm here walking this planet right here free, I'm gonna provide. I'm gonna take
Right.
care of my child. I was gone. I can't do nothing about that. So why are you gonna hold that over my head?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
It
I
just
mean,
makes no
he
sense.
didn't go do it right away. That he
Mhm.
did not do. But
Took a little time.
I mean, you know me, I'm gonna speak my mind.
Right,
So I
right.
just laid
Of
it all out.
course, of course.
And we kind of had our words about it.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, when I got locked up, the two were already older. Isaac and Marcus were already older. But of course,
Mhm.
Isaac's not his. Marcus was already older and out the house. Chris was living with my sister that whole 15
Oh, really?
months.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
in a whole nother town.
Wow.
So he only had stake with him.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
Bruce
stank.
knew it was the right thing for him to do
Right.
because just the way the whole situation
The
was.
way it went.
So he didn't have to, but he did.
Yeah.
That next Monday, I believe, he went to Abilene,
Mhm.
signed a paper in. But before that, I tried to before that, and even then, it wasn't easy. We did a lot of back and forth, me
Back and
Bruce,
forth.
a
And
lot.
man, I
And
know how
the
that
thing about
holds
child
up.
support, they want you for a kid to live with you for 6 months
Mhm.
before they'll change it.
Right, right.
And then even then, you still have to get a lawyer because they don't establish custody. They do
Man.
not establish custody. They only
But that's just
write the
something.
paperwork. That's it.
That's something that they should look into doing because, like, you controlling this part of it. So why not have a say so in this part of it?
You
You
would
know
think
what I
they
mean?
should.
And like, I went through a whole bunch. I went through 2 CPS cases with 2 of my baby mamas. Not on my end, on their end. And it's just like the stuff that you got to go through behind these children is crazy.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. People don't even know the half, man. I mean, I believe that's one of the reasons I went bald, lost all my hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't drink, Mr. Nickerson. Like, oh, okay. But I got to do what I got to do at the end of the day. And I ended up getting custody of my 2 kids. And my daughter I actually let my daughter go back and stay with her mother because, she cleaned herself up pretty good. And a child always wants to go. I mean, it's her mother at the end of the day, both girls.
Right.
So, I mean, she loves her mama no matter what anyone has to say about that or the judgment that they putting on her mama. But at the end of the day, I'm going to look into the situation and say, okay, is it okay that I feel like my daughter be okay? And that's what I felt. My daughter, she cried out. She wanted to go live with my mom. Not saying that she loved me any less or
Right.
love my wife or our kids any less. It's just that's what she was used to.
Right.
So now the situation is better and it's all love.
I think that CPS really does a lot, like too much sometimes. Because
Too much. Way too much.
I know a lot as far as people and what they do in the streets and things like that.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people on dope
Yeah.
that still make sure their kids are straight.
All the time.
That still makes so I don't ever judge, a person because they do what they do.
Right.
As far as their life and drugs and all of that,
Mhm.
especially when they know their kids are. They make
Right.
sure their kids are
Right. They're taking care of their kids.
Not trying to speak on y'all situation,
Right,
just
right.
saying in general, like
In general.
I don't
Because
think
you
that
got-
people should just down a person, a parent,
Mhm.
because they're on drugs,
Right.
not really fully knowing what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
look,
Now, when
even
you
with
go
my
to-
situation, you see what I did,
Right.
but that didn't mean I didn't care about my kids.
Exactly. When you go to neglecting the children and the children are, getting mishandled, then there's a situation, okay, we need to step in and intervene. But like you say, you got a lot of, man, it's crazy. Like when we was in the game and we was hustling, I tell people all the time, you'll be surprised of the people that, that use drugs, and
Right,
I say
exactly.
that, you'll be surprised. Like, I
Exactly.
mean, it's just crazy and they're functional.
They're functioning. That's the
They're
only difference.
They're functional.
They're functioning.
And,
Yep.
and that's the same thing. But like when you know this is a problem, then okay, we gotta do something about that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I mean, just life in every area. There's always gonna be some need for improvement. And then like my thing is this, like keep your own judgment, for yourself. Don't put your judgment on somebody else because you don't know their pain, you don't know their story.
Right.
If you're gonna do anything, offer some kind of form of help or advice. You know what I mean? Don't down them. Don't try to drag them through the mud because at the end of the day, we are humans and we all go through things.
My thing about people downing the next person and things like that is like you could down me all day,
Mhm.
you could beat me up, you could do anything in the world that you want to do to me. It's not gonna change your life.
Not gonna change your life at all.
You're still gonna have to go back to the same life that you live,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad, fun
Right.
or sad. At the
Whatever
end
the
of the day,
situation is.
it's still gonna be what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, if doing whatever you do feels like makes you better,
Do
I
it.
mean, that's on you.
So
But
you
at
at
the
the
end
end
of the
of the
day,
day.
your life is still gonna be what it is.
Right, it is. It is. But
Like, really,
yeah,
honestly.
man. But with that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoyed my guest, man. Mexican Mary, Lou, whatever it is. Anytime y'all need y'all hair done, braids, what you micro braid, you do it all, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty
yeah.
much in the braiding area, man. Holla at your girl Lou, man. Hit her up on Facebook, Instagram. You got an Instagram?
Mhm.
Oh, she got an Instagram. She got her
Everything's
shout out.
braid. Everything's braids by Lou. You could Google me. Everything will pull up.
She
Braids
say
by Lou.
Google her, man. Braids by Lou.
Braids by
Whenever
Lou.
you need your hair done, man. But you gotta book your appointments, man.
That's what do. Yeah.
You gotta book your
Man, I
appointments.
stress people all the time, like plan ahead.
Yeah.
Plan ahead.
Right, exactly. Because I was trying to get you on the show a week ago,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
couldn't get her because she was booked up. So I
Yeah.
mean, we made it work, man. But man, special shout out to y'all out there, man. Keep living your life, striving, and always looking out for yourself to do better. And when you focus on yourself to do better, you want the next person to do better as well, and you won't really focus on the negative. When Kings talk, the conversation is different, man. It's been a pleasure having y'all, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and tune in with your boy. Stay tuned for the next episode, man. We out.